Good morning, everybody. My name is Meredith, and the manipulative I chose was these measuring cups. I love measuring cups because I think they're versatile, but you can use them in a lot of different ways. The first way that I would use measuring cups in the classroom is to talk about the difference between a whole and a part. So I'm sure you guys have measuring cups at home. They help you cook, they help you bake, figure out, how to read a recipe. But they can also help you figure out, I'm trying to find the half cup in here. They can also help you figure out part versus whole. So the one that I picked up, it's going to be really hard to see. There we go. Try to get it to catch some light. This says a half cup, okay? And this, trying to get it to catch some light. This is a whole cup. So a half cup is going to be half of a whole cup, right? Or, you can always do it different too. It doesn't have to be just a half and just a whole. Let's say you took 3/6 of a cup and then 6/6 of a cup, right? That will be the same as a half and a whole. Because some kids don't know that, and some kids need stuff like measuring cups or like a real life example to help them figure that out. Another way that I would use measuring cups in the classroom would be to show them how to add and subtract fractions. If you have a math problem where you're having to add or subtract fractions, you could use measuring cups to help you figure that out. So I have a couple different measuring cups here. And if you had 1/3 minus 1/4. Now, some kids get confused whenever it comes to adding and subtracting fractions, especially subtracting. This is kind of tricky, I know. But, sometimes they might say, well, which number is smaller? Now, I know that 1/3 comes first when you subtract, but some kids don't know that. And they could use measuring cups to help them figure out, okay, which measurement is going to be bigger? And you can look when I hold these in my hand. It's a little difficult to see, but you can tell that a 1/3 cup that I have in this hand is going to be bigger than a 1/4 cup. So when they subtract fractions, they're going to have to start with this one because it's bigger. Or if you've got 1 cup plus a half cup, and it doesn't matter which order you add them in because the answer is still going to be the same, right? They might say, well, what kind of fraction do I need to start with? Well, you've got a whole cup here, so a whole would be 1. A whole is equivalent to 1, and then you've got a half cup, so that would be 1 1/2, right? So you could use measuring cups to help them figure out, kind of just how to add and subtract fractions, because like I said earlier, some kids really need a real life example to help them with math. I was the same way too. I had a really hard time grasping some of those different things in math. I was not a math person, and so whenever you're teaching, you have to make sure that you're catering to all of your kids. You can't cater to just one group of kids that all you have to do is sit down with them and tell them one time and boom boom boom, they're done. You've got to cater to all of your kids. You can't assume that all of your children are going to be math whizzes, right? Well, the last way that I would use to teach math in the classroom with my little measuring cups would be to actually make something. And this is a method that I've used in the past. This can work for any grade. I know some of us are doing elementary and some of us are doing middle, but I'm in the elementary class. And I taught kindergarten previously for almost 2 years. And one way that we would help our kids measure or learn a different aspect of math is we would make something. And so this recipe calls for a 1/3 cup of oil, 2 tablespoons of water, and 1 egg. Now, if you didn't know how to use measuring cups, you wouldn't be able to make this recipe. If you don't know how to use measuring cups, you can't cook, you can't bake. There are a lot of things that you couldn't do, right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find a 1/3 cup. Well, that's a tablespoon. It says I need 2 tablespoons of water, so I'll have to fill this up twice with water to make my cookies. And then I need to find a 1/3 cup. That's a 1/4, so that's not the right one. Ooh, this is a 1/3. That's the right one. And then I've got a half cup and a full cup. I don't need those 3. The only ones that I need are a tablespoon and a 1/3. So I'd fill this up twice with water to make my cookies. And then I'd fill this up once with oil to make my cookies. So those are a couple different ways that you can use measuring cups in the classroom. Of course, you can use them differently, but that's how I would use them to help my kids learn fractions, because that's kind of a tricky subject. But anyway, Thanks for watching. Bye.